the organizers and my panelists. Very complicated subject they have given me, SPV and joint ventures. And they have told that this specific subject we are giving you to share your views. And of course, with due respect to legal fraternity, whatever knowledge I have, I'll try to share with you. Basically, as we know, one is a property is being sold on outright basis. They insist for special purpose vehicle. For example, you have a company balance sheet and you have many projects. Whenever the foreign direct investment or a project partner is coming to fund to the particular project, he will definitely insist that you bring this property to SPV. Of course, there are some challenges. I think just you mentioned ready reckoner rate. You need to transfer at a ready reckoner price. Stamp duty is there, ready reckoner or circle rate you call it in Delhi. So because the idea is emerge ready reckoner from Maharashtra. So I think unfortunately the entire country has been victimized with that. So I think these are the few challenges we need to keep in mind. But then the best advantage, the land can come in SPV and the development can happen. It is a mechanism which is mandatory on many occasions. Now what are the advantages? I think better controlling, investor friendly, easy to make disinvestment. It is very important because whenever you take a foreign direct investment or an investor, how you will give him exit? It becomes a key question. Because if you invest in a parent company equity, you cannot give him exit. So I think SPVs is the best option to give this easy disinvestment. Easy for pledging shares also. Many times you take a loan from the funder and he say, this particular property I need a security, this is the best option, and saving of the stamp duty, because many occasions we really don't pay stamp duties on SPV creations. Now I think why SP is required, the risk sharing, the finance factor, asset transfer, because it's a very easy method of transferring. Then regulatory reason, I think just I have mentioned, because couple of investors or lenders may insist that you bring the property in SPV, and I think properly investing could be the key factor. Just to conclude SPV, and then I am turning to joint venture where I am trying to focus more a little bit. So SPV is the best instrument or option available for easy transaction, very easy to form, very easy to work it out, and again it's a limited partnership for that particular project or that particular venture. So I think all these advantages we can achieve in SPV, and I think most of the cases this is a very popular known concept, because the company may have couple of properties, and each project you can have a separate SPV, and you can have a separate partner, separate funder, separate FDI, or the separate lender, and that becomes very easy to monitor and operate. Now coming to joint venture concept, I think typically joint venture we call it typically JV. It's a very popular method. This gives a good what you call mechanism to buy the property, because you don't have to pay the typical method of the transaction where you pay money and get the sale deed executed. I think instead of that, JV is the best option. I'll try to show how it can work as a best option. These are the few typical things which are requirement of the JV. Typically, we can have this expertise, capital of the other contribution, risk of the project is divided, and its access to the asset. I think these are the couple of the advantages which we can achieve in the joint venture. Why it is, what are the forms where we can cover? It is by operations, joint control operation, joint control assets, and joint control entities. These could be methods of the various JVs. I think I've tried to elaborate how jointly controlled operation can work. That has been reflected in this slide. Going back to, I think this is important, which I would like to elaborate a little bit. What are the various options available in joint venture? Particularly those who are connected with South, it is very popular concept of a JV. I think a landlord gives a property to develop on a joint venture basis in most of the cases. What are the advantages? From a landlord side, he doesn't have to pay immediate taxes. That's the biggest advantage. Second, the land he is converting into built up asset. so that he gets a benefit of the property. For example, when you start the project, the price may be X. By the time the building is completed, the price may be X plus Y. So though that advantage he can get. The third one, if he doesn't sell that asset, suppose you built 1 lakh square feet commercial property, hypothetical example I am giving you, and landowner retains 50,000 square feet out of that. He don't have to pay taxes because land he has converted into built up asset. So I think, and he can rent it out that asset, and only rental income would be taxable. So I think that's the biggest advantage for a landowner when instead of following a sale deed method, which is typically followed particularly, this is the best option, and again he can get a fruits of the appreciation. I think developer will give him more because he becomes actually his partner, a biggest lender in the whole transaction, maybe bigger lender than the banker one. So I think these are the advantages. What are the ways we can work it out, the JVs? I think this is very important for the developer, from the developer's perspective. One method is you can share the revenue. For example, if you get 1 crore collection by sale of particular flats, you can divide that 1 crore in percentage with a landowner, say 25%, 75% or 50-50 as the case may be. So 1 crore landowner gets certain percentage and the remaining comes to the developer, out of which developer spend the cost of the construction. So it becomes very, very easy for developer to manage the cash flow. He don't have to invest, and it becomes a huge continuous revenue flowing method for a landlord's perspective. Then second method could be typically profits, but this is not much advisable because there could be disputes. Because cost of the construction, what is the cost of construction, what is the sale price, there could be n number of the dispute, but this method is available because many people think, no, we need a share in profit. But actually, as far as possible, you should not suggest, you should suggest them option 1 and 3 instead of going in sharing of the profit, because there could be disputes in lot of the items, expenses and so on. The third method, sharing of the built up area or sharing of the FAR. I think this is very, very popular method. What does this mean? Suppose any project is going to generate 1 lakh square feet area, hypothetical, just I am taking example. You can share 50,000 area or 25,000 area with a landowner, and 75,000 area will remain with a developer. What is developer's obligation? 75,000 area he spent cost of the construction and earn profit out of that. What is landowner's obligation? He gives land and take 25,000 square feet built up area in exchange. I think olden days we have heard barter system, somebody giving rice and somebody is giving wheat in exchange. I think similar typical method, you give the land, the landowner gives the land, and developers give constructed area, same pro rata share. You can have same pro rata share. I think some gentlemen raise a question, parking. I think pro rata parking can be also given. Suppose you have 100 parking in building, let 25 go to landowner, 75 developer retain. So I think this is very, very popular method, and many projects in this way are worked out. It's a win-win situation for both of them. Now, these are the various formats which are constitute as a part of the joint venture schemes. I'm not going in every micro level detail. You can just read it out. Wherever you find difficulty, you can cover in question answer session. Jointly controlled entities, this is one more method available. Then while forming JV, what are the requirement or things required? Capital, branding, expertise, resources. Why I'm saying capital, branding? The developer may have a capital. The developer may have brand. A good developer will have its brand, whereas the landowner may not have his brand. So that what happens, moment you associate ABC developer, you get an advantage of branding. So I think it plays a important role. Expertise, landowner most of the time doesn't have the expertise, so it plays a very vital role. Resources, the developer has all the resources to go to the municipal authorities, government authorities, get the plan approval, manage it at all the level or stages. So I think resource is important. Cultural is one of the things. Legal is also important. If any difficulties are there in the title of the landowner, developer can extend his help or expertise while getting the clearances. And national and local government support. Here is some of the cases you must have noticed. I think some of the government authority was there in the last session. The government also does joint venture whenever they come with new area development authority, they ask the developer to share the built-up area. Generally, they go in a land auction, but then this is the best option available. For example, Rajasthan model somebody mentioned, whether good or bad, it's a different story, but it's a typically joint venture with a government. So I think these type of the model we should encourage. I think these are the various features which I've tried to list it out. It's a very short duration for the particular project. It could be both the parties or the stakeholder can contribute the fund, share profits as the case may be. I think and capital and revenue, there is no distinction. So these are some of the important feature. Now few advantages. I think new capacity and expertise you get of the developer, enter into related or new areas. Many of the industrial lands or the industries do not have the expertise to develop the real estate. I think joint venture is the best solution to them. They can tie up with a reputed developer and they say, okay, yes, we have a land, you develop it on a joint venture basis so that they don't liquidate the land parcel and they enter in a joint venture. Then sharing of the risk also happen because that particular landowner or the industry may not have the expertise of the real estate. So sharing happen, the transaction or the method becomes very flexible, and it's a creative way for companies to exit from non-core business. I think that's very important because many of the industries, I'm sure Delhi also it is happening same. Most of the metros, I think most of the industries are disposing their lands. So instead of land disposal, and then they are worried, we sell at X price and the appreciation happen, we don't get benefit. So this is the best way. You enter in a JV with any particular developer and share the best fruits out of that mechanism. I think it is quite little bit similar to the partnership, which was typically, we call it, the partnership was there when two parties come together and they were forming the partnership. Now, instead of partnership, I think JV method is more preferred. As you know, partnership has unlimited liabilities. It becomes very complicated. Whenever you go for bank funding, the bank insists guarantee of all the partners. It is must. So those are the couple of challenges while you develop the partnership it comes. Whereas JV is the best solution. You can define it clearly who can be the guarantor in a joint venture. The JV partner, that's the landowner, can authorize the developer to raise the funding on the project. He can give authorization to mortgage the property, the whole property, excluding his undivided share, to be going to be constructed. I think those mechanisms can be worked out. So joint venture is a slightly better, much better option against the partnership. I think some of the challenges, relationship building, I think that's a key factor come. Sometime if the objectives or communication is not having clarity, you can have disputes. For example, landowner is expecting commercial building, the developer is saying residential is better. So I think those type of the clarity is required when you go for these type of the joint venture. Different expertise and investment by each party sometime could create a problem. But sometime in some of the JVs we have noticed that the landowner say my investment is X and you have not invested that much money. So there could be some challenge in that angle. And I think success depend on, I think analysis of the objective is the key factor in the JVs. I think some of the features which you must try to mention in the JVs, I think clear objectives there, clear financial commitment of each party, whether landowner is going to bring any contribution, intellectual property, like I mentioned earlier, we have to be defined clearly. Day-to-day management, you have to define it clearly, who will operate, who will run. Dispute resolution, whether arbitration or the court or any person, sometimes you can appoint architect or the common man in both the issue, because it's again a sort of marriage. When you go for a JV, it's a sort of marriage you should treat, because then dispute resolution mechanism is required, because any dispute can happen during the course of the construction. So those things we need to incorporate while taking care in the JV. I think in other words, SPV JVs are the best option available for any developer in today's scenario. For me, or if you talk at my company level, we do a lot of JVs with landowners, and both at a company level and the JV partner, that is the landowner, has benefited a lot. Suppose a landowner want to sell the land as on today, he gets a X price, and if you convert in a JV or a SPV, he get X plus Y, definitely. I think most of the cases, all what we have seen, the landowner has made a tremendous profit by entering into JV or SPV model. It is very popular in South. My friend is going to also elaborate, and maybe we need to take it forward in northern part, because here people don't understand so easily the JV or SPV concept, because here simply they know sell deed of the land has to be done. So I think you need to convince. The advantage to the developer fraternity is that he don't have to put the money on buying of the land. I think if you convert, if you put your expertise on the construction, getting approvals and put money for the construction, what is required, it becomes win-win situation for both. Both can make additional money on this, and this model is very, very important when Reserve Bank has prohibited any banks to lend money to this particular sector, buying of the land activity. I think this is the best solution, best option available. I think detailed modality can be worked out, but it is worked out very, very well in most of the cases wherever such joint venture is done. I think both benefit. The appreciation is not only shared by the developer, but the landlord also get proportionate share of the property appreciation or the area appreciation.